A different version this time. Today I'm going to be using the Character Board, which is a solid center with the holes around the outside, just like the ring board. But unlike the ring board, the center of the Character Board is completely solid. So we're going to be using this vinyl, and I'm going to be using poly burlap for this one. So you guys can see the difference between the poly burlap and last night's fabric mesh. There is different ways you can do these petals. I'm going to do it as the same way as I did last night. I really liked that petal. It's almost like a laurel wreath. I don't know if you know what a laurel wreath. A laurel wreath is like leaves going all the way around. Usually it's all green, right? So I'm making this a laurel wreath with red, white, and blue. Now this is a more rustic type of center. So the colors I'm using today for this wreath, I'm using a dark navy poly burlap. I'm using a red poly burlap, and I'm using a cream colored poly burlap. I'm making it like more rustic style, like the actual image is. I think if I used the bright red, white, and blue that I did last night, it wouldn't do this image any good. I think the rustic style is the way to go for it. And I bought these stars at Michael's. They're wood stars. And I don't think I'm even going to paint them because they are fabulous. Because it's a rustic style, they're the same color as the cream colored poly burlap I'm going to use. So look at it on the blue. So I think this is going to look fabulous without even painting them. And you get a whole bunch. You get 130 pieces of these wood, and they're really, really thin, but they're perfect. Especially since I don't have to paint them. So we're going to try this look and see how this one goes. Like I said, you can use any petal you want. Like I said, I kind of like this petal. It's going to have a whole laurel effect looking. Let's see. Like I said, you can just see a comment. You just received your character boards, and you already bought that vinyl. There we go. I do believe I have all three of these. Well, I did. I have all three of these colors in our store, uniqueinthecreek.com. I have cream. I also have white. Now, the white poly burlap is not a pure white like a fabric mesh. But I really liked the cream for some reason. I don't know, like, because in the stripes of this flag that Ivis Wright painted, it's almost like a creamish color. So I thought the three of them would look really nice together, the rustic style. So let's get started. So I'm going to be doing my pattern a little bit different. This one's much easier. Okay. So from the center to the 9 o'clock on the board, so the center being 12, 9 being over here, all this is going to be blue. And then each row, this row is going to be white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. So there's no combining. You're just doing straight colors, straight down. I didn't want to get it too busy because I want the center to be the star of the show, and this stuff around is just going to be an accent. Okay, so from here to 9 o'clock is all blue, and then white, red, all the way around till you hit the blue again. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, this one. And I'm going to do the new method of putting the vinyl on, which is pretty much foolproof. This is called the wet method. I do have a quick tutorial on our YouTube channel on how to do it. It's basically our images are water-based vinyls. So you just peel it right off the paper. Very sticky. This paper is now garbage. Okay, now what I do is you wet the back. Okay, I have this spray bottle. I'm just going to spray the back. You're like, what? How's it going to stick? It does. Smooth, spread the water all over. Okay, and now you'll be able to, because this is really sticky, but you'll be able to lift and move your vinyl for a while until you squeegee the wet. Okay, so you have lots of time to move your vinyl around and get it perfect. So I just eyeball this, but you can just kind of bend it up so you kind of get a center, and where the number 1 is all the way down is the center of the board. So you just want to place it around. Yeah, I have to move this over. See how easy it is to lift? Now it will stick once it's dry, I promise. I'm just trying to get it on the outside of the holes here. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to lift it up. Looks really straight to me. Then I'm going to take, I have this, it's just, you can use a debit card or an old credit card or a gift card or whatever. This is one of my luggage tags. I'm just going to take a paper towel. Okay. Put the paper towel over my thing, and that's to collect the water and not scratch your vinyl image. Okay. Very simple. You're going to start from the middle and just press and squeegee out. You'll see all kinds of water coming out. Watch. And this is getting all the bubbles out and everything. It really, really is amazing, this method to doing your vinyls. And this is how they put vinyl wording on glass. Because if you've ever tried to put a sticker on glass, as soon as you put that sticker on glass, it's not coming off. You're going to wreck your sticker, right? Because it sticks right away. There we go. That's it. You dry it up. I put a lot of water on there. We'll go over one more time just to make sure there's no excess water. Oh, got a little squirt. Now this will take about 24 hours to cure, but you can, it's on there. You can start decorating right away. There. That is super easy. Make sure you can even hear the little bubbles pop. It's pretty cool, the sound. There we go. All done. So my eagle's pretty much centered. Not bad, eh? Yes, this is created by my artist friend, Ivis Wright. She painted it, and we turned it into a vinyl image for our boards. Isn't that fabulous? Like, that is hand painted. Look at the detail in that eagle. No, it doesn't have to be done this way. This is a foolproof way. I have some people message me that, you know, their vinyl got crinkled because, you know, they had to pull it up and everything. If you do it this way, you're not going to have any of those issues. You can even use a wet cloth and wet the back. You don't have to have a spray bottle. Okay, so we're ready to go. So I'm going to be doing the same petal as I did last night, but this is with poly burlap. All 3 of my poly burlap were 10 inches long, so I cut them at 10 inches. Okay, curl up. Now, the petals do turn out much nicer with the poly burlap for this, and you don't have to heat seal it. This is the only time I'm going to tell you not to heat seal poly burlap because we're not going to see the edges. So don't bother doing that. It's just kind of a waste of time. So it's a 10 by 10 piece. I just cut it with my rotary cutter. Okay, you're going to turn it in a diamond. We got our curl up. Take the top corner, bring it down to the bottom corner. And you can see how poly burlap doesn't have a lot of elasticity in it because it's all plastic. All of it's plastic. So once you flatten it, it pretty much stays flat. That's why I say It's not very good to make a rose with, because the rose, you want it full. You want that roundness. And poly burlap, I find when you make a rose with poly burlap, you get more of a cinnamon bun looking thing, because when you flatten it, you can see it doesn't puff out like a deco mesh. But for this petal, it's actually perfect. So we're going to do the same thing as last night. I'm putting the corner on one of my lines. I'm just going to stretch it. Put my finger on the line so I can't move this over any further than the center. I'm going to bring it right straight down. And then this side is going right over and along here. Okay, we're going to pinch the center, and then we're going to bring this side in and this side in, and there is our petal. It looks like a feather, but in this case it's going to look like leaves. Now if you have your board preloaded, you can cut your end off and stick the petal right in. I'm going to cut some of this off, the excess off, and I'm going to put little hair bands around it, just like that. And I think I'm going to make these 4 inches. I'm going to make them a little smaller than I did last night. So that is our petal, and I'll zoom down so you guys can see the next one. I'll do red. Hello, hello. Okay, 10 by 10 piece again. Did not heat seal. This is poly burlap, 10 by 10. Curl up, put it into a diamond shape. Take the top corner, bring it down to the bottom corner. Match up your edges. Okay, I'm putting it on my line, and I'm putting it on the corner on the line because I want to find the center as best I can. Then I stretch it a little bit, and I put my finger right before the line. So when I bring this to fold over and straight down, it doesn't go past the halfway mark. If you can see that, it's straight down. Okay, and then we're going to take this side, and this edge at the top here is going to go right along this edge here. So you're folding it right over on itself, matching up the 2 sides here. Okay, and then once you got that, you got like a bella petal. I pinch a little bit in the middle, and where the 2 fold over, this corner here, that's where I'm pushing in. And then there's that corner, and I'm pushing that in and squeezing it. So, and when you flip it over, there's your perfect, there we go, your perfect feather petal. It will work with deco mesh. I did it with fabric mesh last night. It doesn't lay as nicely as you'll see with this poly burlap. Now, poly burlap is a little bit pricier, so you want to make sure you got the petal totally down pat before you start doing this petal with poly burlap, because you don't want to waste this. It's not cheap. Okay, I'm going to do another blue. Okay, 10 by 10. I'm doing good. Thank you for all for asking. Okay. In a diamond shape. Top corner down to the bottom corner. It is easy if you take your time, Stacy, and practice. You know how many of these I've made? Okay, so I got the corner just on a line, just so I can see that it's down the center. I'm going to stretch it just a little bit. Again, my finger is just before that line, so I can bring this over and have it come straight down. Bring this one over right across here. Okay, and then I kind of swing it to the side. I pinch just a little bit right in the center, and where this corner, I bring it, slide it, this corner where the two fold, I slide that, and that is where I'm going to be putting my elastic. So I cut excess off. Good morning, everybody. And there we go. So if you do it the same way every time, your petals will all come out the same. So it's just taking your time with this one. But you can do this if you did it with just like an olive green color or something. I see a bubble. If you see a bubble, just push towards the outside with your finger. So when the light hits it, you can see a little bubble. Now, if that doesn't work, an old trick from when I had my vinyl sign business, there's a little bubble, just take a pin, put a little hole in it, and press it with your finger, and the air pops out. And you don't even see the pin mark. There we go. It's hard to see because you can only see the bubbles like if a light is hitting it and in a certain way. Okay, so that is the petal. So if you still don't got it, you can watch last night's live and you can rewind today's live. I'm going to be doing a little bit different. Like I said, I'm just going to be doing, each row is going to be the same color. I'm going to start with the blue. So I'm taking my zip tie, I'm going down the one hole, and I'm going to use 4 on each. I liked the 4. It made it nice and full. So that's 1, 2. Actually, I can't do 4. I can only do 3. Duh. 4 was when the ring was cut out there. I'm such a goober sometimes. So I'm using 3. So you don't use as much of the poly burlap. And this one, we're not going to put an eagle head or anything. We're just doing plain stripes, and it's more of a rustic style wreath. So I'm using a cream colored poly burlap with like cream colored little wood stars. So we'll preload these 2 rows. They're blue. So what I'm doing is I'm make sure your seam is down. So there's the seam at the back there. This is the character board. So I'm putting it in about right there. Let's see how big that is. So if I put the zip tie just above the elastic band, that's 4 inches. I'm going to try, yesterday I did 5 inches. I'm going to try 4 inches today. And once you put 1 in, you can measure against each other. You don't have to pull and measure every single one. All you have to do is make sure the tips are the same size or the same length. I don't know if they've done it. I wouldn't want to do it on a wireframe, and I'm not just saying that because I, own Unique and Creek, but they'll probably twist and everything. So I'm sure one of my competitors out there will probably make the same thing as I just did and on a wireframe, and that's okay. So the next one is blue. So this one's pretty straightforward. We're not doing any stripes or any diagonals or anything. We're just going straight in color. Seam down. Make sure your tips are the same length. And this is the navy. We have royal blue poly burlap. This is the navy poly burlap. And today is my number one son's birthday. I only have one son. So happy birthday, Mitch, even though you're probably not watching. He's 24 today. God, I'm getting old. My oldest is 29. And then there's Laurie, who's turning 16 and thinks she's going to drive soon. No, 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 she is not. This is just another variation of what you can do for an eagle wreath. I do realize the eagle head is a bit pricey, but it's 3D printed, so that's super cool. This one we're not using an eagle head. I have a bunch of different kinds of vinyl inserts that you can use on the character board. I just love this petal. And if you look up a laurel wreath, your oldest is 50. Okay, I feel younger now. Thanks, Nancy. So we're gonna have some birthday celebration. We're gonna order his favorite food. I'm actually gonna go out and buy a cake. You guys thought I was gonna make a cake, right? No. I'm over that. When they were young, I used to make all kinds of fun cakes for them. Now I just buy. Same with dinner. I just buy dinner. All right, we're still on blue. And then the next one is white, which I'm using a cream color. I'm supposed to be at Pinners Convention in April in Georgia. Unfortunately, our border is still not open. We still cannot travel. It sucks. It sucks bad. And there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, I hear my number one son. Actually, my son is the best. He's been through a lot with me. Come on, Laurie. Fingers are stiff this morning. This really looks nice with the poly burlap, I have to say. And especially since you don't have to heat seal this type of petal for the poly burlap is a-okay in my books. All right, I have more blue up here, but you're going to keep going around your circle. And I'm starting now on the white. Maybe flat Laurie can go. This will be another year. We were supposed to be there last Pinners, and that's when the pandemic started in March. And then we were supposed to be there in September, and it was canceled. And again, we're supposed to be there this April, and we're still closed. Who would have thought a country would close for a whole year? Yes, Karen. I don't know if you guys have seen the news lately. There's a huge mega shipping ship from China, coming from China, that is stuck in the main canal that comes to North America. So boats, pretty much boats, unless they go around Africa, boats from China are not able to get in and out. So the empty shipping containers can't get back to China, and the full shipping containers can't get to North America. So we're all in for a huge surprise in the next month. wreathing supplies are going to be hard to find for a little bit. Not our frames though. That's why we're not in China. You can always get our frames. We're in North America. So we don't ship on no boats. Just trucks. But anyways, that's what's going on. So that's why there's a wireframe shortage as well, and we are getting bombarded, which is a good thing. But little to know, we know we were going to get bombarded so hard because we had no idea. All right, next row, red. This is an easy one. Look how nicely the poly burlap lays, though. It's good to be a hoarder in this situation, Sean. So poly burlap is all plastic, so this is, you have no problem putting this in the weather. The wreath board is plastic, and the vinyl insert is UV resistant and can get wet. So you do know how to get glue on there. The only thing you may have to worry about is your mesh fading. So you might want to spray it with a UV spray. Yep, we ship with a lot of trucks. But it's a good thing because we're keeping a lot of jobs going. Our factory is going 24/7. And we are keeping them really busy. We're keeping the truck drivers really busy with all our orders going out. So it's a good thing, kind of, for us. So what I'm doing, I don't know if I showed yesterday, I'm making sure that the end of this petal is running along and it's straight into the zip tie. It's not crooked up like this. See how the tail's sticking out? It's running right along the board. Okay. This is going in completely straight. I'm just making sure that the tips are the same length. And this goes in completely straight. Red. So this is pretty easy once you get the petals. Once the petals are all made, it's just literally slipping them in the zip tie. Well, if trucks stop moving, we're all in big trouble for everything, groceries, everything. So I think if trucks stop moving, crafting supplies will be the least of our worries. You don't want to put your zip tie in backwards. You want the tail and the flat part facing each other, because that's how they go together. And you will hear a zipping sound. Yeah, all our vinyls are always in stock now. We make our own vinyls in-house, as well as our own aluminum signs, so we don't run out anymore. And they're made as you order. Now we do have a few of Ibis Wright's designs. I think we have about 8 of them. They're exclusive to Unique in the Creek, so you won't find them anywhere else. And we all know I'm a huge fan of Iris Wright. So I had to have exclusives from her. So I just asked her to paint certain things, and she always knocks it out of the park. You sure could do it with ribbon. You can do it with anything you want. I was going to show, eventually, I'm going to show a technique with a 4-inch ribbon. But that's on my long list of things to do. Things to do. I have so many designs in my sketchbook. This is looking pretty fab, I must say. I'm really liking this one. Even the cream. Now, I don't know if it's offensive to use not complete white for the Patriotic, but white or cream is an off-white, so I didn't want to use a big, stark, bold white with this design as it's more rustic. But you guys can do whatever you want. I do have white in stock as well. So now you could use any character center, and if you did green, like I said, if you did green going all the way around, it will look like a laurel wreath without using real florals or petals. Hello, hello. I know it's rustic and primitive. That's what I want. That's what I was going for. Because of this is not like, I would not use royal blue and bright white with this center. But we do have all kinds of different patriotic centers if you're doing patriotic. Just type in, go to uniqueinthecreek.com, type in Patriotic, and the Patriotic will come up. So again, when I'm putting it in, I'm kind of using my finger as a guide to make sure it's at the edge. The tail's at rounding the edge of the board, and then you want to go straight with your zip tie. I don't see why you couldn't use red check. You can do whatever you want. It's your wreath. And if you don't experiment, you don't come up with anything new, right? If you want to come up with something unique, you have to try different things. It may not work, or it may be something out of this world. You don't know until you try. I've had many designs I've done that I absolutely hated, but I learned from that to improve. So what I hated, I would use something else or try something, a different style, to get the look I was wanting. The board is made of recycled plastic, so they are, it actually is like yogurt and sour cream containers. They are all recycled plastic. Anything that Unique in the Creek sells is recycled. Our Measure Buddy is recycled plastic. Our butterfly body, when it comes, will be recycled plastic. And all the boards are made with recycled plastic. Although you guys need to eat more, because apparently there's a recycled plastic shortage too. And most of our recycled plastic does come from the United States. Yeah, the vinyls are fun because you have so much to choose from. This is turning out absolutely fabulous. This is like, I like this one better than last night's. And it's easier. So I have to say though, I do like the poly burlap with this petal style better than the fabric mesh because it lays completely flat, which is one thing I kind of hate about poly burlap, but it really, really works well for this design. I have one more. I'll do the petal once again for all those that just joined. You can watch the replay, especially if you're going to want to make this. You might just want to watch the replay and stop, start, rewind, everything else. Okay, I got it 10 by 10. Did not heat seal, just cut with my rotary cutter. This is poly burlap, 10 by 10 piece. Turn it into a diamond, curl up, which means when I let go, the curl's coming upwards. Top corner, brought down to the bottom corner, flatten it out. I put my corner bottom on a line so I can see pretty much where the center is. I'm just stretching it a little bit, and my finger is right before that line so I can fold this down over, and I use my finger to hold it and come straight down with that mesh. And then this side is going to run right along here. I'm going to bring it over, bring this edge right along this edge. Okay, that's what your petal looks like. Pinch up just a little bit in the center, and where this corner is folded, you're going to bring that in, and where this corner comes over and meets, you're going to bring that in, and there's your petal. You're going to cut excess off, and I use the little elastic hair bands from the Dollar Tree. In the hair section, you get 500 for $1 just around the bottom, so I can pre-make my petal. You'll have to watch the beginning, or I do have like a 5-minute tutorial on our YouTube channel, Unique in the Creek, on how to put the vinyl image on. You don't have to do that way, but I would like beginners to put it on that way, just so you don't screw your vinyl up. Is there something? Or are you just coming down to look?
No, I was watching you make the petal. I was going to come down and try one.
You want to try a petal?
Yeah, because I got ideas. You know me.
Well, can we? I'm almost done.
No, I won't bother right now.
Would you bring me a buble, though, honey?
Sure.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, David A. Franklin. And if you don't know, that's my husband, who is the president of Unique in the Creek, and my best friend, and my husband. Seam down. So the seams are almost the same, but when you fold it over, you'll see just a little bit of the top. So you want that seam facing down towards the board. Is your boyfriend? That's everybody's boyfriend. Everybody loves Dave. I'm so good. My. He's another #1 man in my life. My Bubba, which is Mitchell, and my David A. Franklin. Oh, the lady, I have this ladybug in thing. I don't know where my actual file went. So what I'm going to have to do is, I have the original. I'm going to have to rescan it and resave it into a file. Actually, I should do that this weekend. Thanks, love.
Yeah, I need to get a picture of it, but I went out and Cindy was sitting up on top of the hot tub one.
She was sitting at the top of the hot tub? How'd she get up there?
On the steps. She jumped up, I guess. I was trying to get a picture of it.
crazy.
Take a picture of it, I'll post it.
Okay. Almost done, folks. What you thinking so far? Actually, I'll count the petals when I'm done. I didn't actually count them this time. And I'm not sure if I really need... Do you guys need a template made for this, or is it like simple enough? For the blue, you start at 12 o'clock and end at 9 o'clock, and then you do just every row, you just do red, white, red, white. Well, thank you, everybody. If you guys wouldn't mind sharing to your page, again, I would greatly appreciate it. That is how we spread our wings and get other people to notice our beautiful creations, is sharing each other. And that's why a lot of us do lives, just to get our name. If you're selling a wreath, somebody making a wreath, somebody might see you making the wreath and want to buy that wreath. No, this isn't available as a kit. All you need to do is buy the character board, the vinyl, and the 3 colors. If you want to do Patriotic, you can use this method for anything, like any vinyl. It'll just look like a laurel wreath when it goes around like this. And I've done it in a green, a green fabric mesh. I did green going all the way around. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, this wreath is pretty cool, I have to say. Like, wicked cool. Wow. I love the cream and the red and dark blue. And of course, ibis. Eagle. Makes it spectacular. So the whole thing was handmade. Even the center was hand painted. Wow. Hand painted the original. Yes, I think I like it better too. And then I'm going to put the stars. Okay, now we're going into blue. Last row. And now it's actually, it'll be easy to count what colors I use, how many I used for each color. And I'm pretty sure you only have to use a half a roll of each color. All right, these last ones are blue. Longer one. Gotta lift these up, the front ones up a bit to get that tail under there. Actually, this one's a little bit too long. There we go. One more. Done. Fold these back down over. Wow. That is fabulous. So I use 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 white or cream. Okay, 18. Let's write that down. Laurie, where's a piece of paper? 18 cream white, whatever you want to use. So it'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 red. And 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 blue. Half a roll of each color. So if you bought a roll of red, a roll of white, and a roll of blue, we'll do you 2 wreaths. 2 of these. Not bad, eh? I love these colors. All right, let's just put the stars on. Oh, I forgot to put my glue. Okay, the stars I'm using is just, they're wood stars, and I don't even need to paint them because it's going to look just fabulous, the color it is. These are from Michael's. So, Michael's Canada. Not that Canadian people be making these, but they're different sizes, so we want all the same size. Let's see what sizes there is. Seems to be a lot of this size. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Apparently there's, you have to have 13. 12, 13. Now, of course, I'm going to glue these on, but I just wanted to make sure where I was going to glue them. Oh, this is fabulous. OMG, Laurie. Isn't that fabulous? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 13 stars. So you just have to glue them on. I know, and look, I don't even have to paint them when I use the cream color. Gotta love that. But if you were to paint them, you could just put these in a line. You can use craft paint. You can use spray paint that are just little woods, thin little wood stars. But they're pretty fabulous. I thought it would clash too much with the flag here, but I don't think it does. I think it looks stunning. Canadian, but love it. I'm coming up with a Canadian one. Our flag is boring. Our flag is boring. There's only so much you can do with red and white. So my mind is working, guys. I promise. And I do have the military, or the firefighter and the police centers for Canada coming out. And I also have I already have police and firefighter for US. I have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines coming out for US, and I have to get a Coast Guard. Alrighty, that's it. Okay, from 9 o'clock from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock, blue, and then white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red, all the way around. I used cream. You're using 18 cream, 15 red, 15 blue, and that's a half a roll of each color. Well, you can make this one. This one is fab. I love this one. Wow. This is, I'm like wowed. And I'm not wowed a lot. Seriously. But I'm pretty proud of this one. I'm really proud of this one. And I'm not even American. This one I think is going to go to my brother and sister-in-law whenever I get to finally see them. They live over in Orchard Park, New York. If I can't get the poly, oh yeah, regular mesh, it's not going to lay as flat. Like I said at the beginning, Deco Mat or poly burlap is all plastic. It flattens, okay? And it does what you want it to do. Deco mesh and fabric mesh have more of a, I want to say an elasticity to it, and they fluff up more. I should have brought my eagle wreath down that I did last night. They fluff up more, so they don't lay as flat and perfect as the poly burlap. But I only used half a roll of each color, so if you get one roll of each, you can make 2 of these. And I'm sure you can sell this for pretty good penny. Because you Americans, you love your Patriotic and Eagles. You have these boards in Canada, I am. Canadian Evie. Unique in the Creek is in Canada. And when you go to uniqueinthecreek.com, it will, if you're from Canada, it will come up in Canadian prices. And your shipping comes up in Canadian too. So, I know this, you can use this petal for anything. I think I'm going to have to do a tutorial on this petal, just for this petal. I think I'm going to call it the feather petal. Because it really, or the laurel petal. It really looks like feathers or like perfect leaves. Because it's so pointy. But anyways, alright. I did have this mesh before I went live. I don't know if I have any more left now. I do have more coming. Whenever it gets here, I won't know. But I do have more. Alright, so that's it. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to go and prepare for my son's birthday, aka go buy a cake. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where this video is going to be after this live's finished. Okay, bye, guys.